Well, let's talk about Ableton and why is the best DAW.
Take me far away. I think I've had enough. I can't do no more. I'm finally breaking. You lost all my trust. I'm walking out the door. I'm taking me away.
Mic check, mic check. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's go. Good things. We're gonna talk about quite a few things here and there, and some little interesting hot takes here. But before I do, I definitely want to talk about, my personal experience with Ableton Live. And I want to talk about why I believe it's the best DAW that's out there for any sort of content creation or producing or engineering and all that aspects, I want to talk about that, But before we do, let me get this out of the way. For those of you who weren't aware, the last week, I'd aired 2 episodes, which is dope. We talked about a little bit of the whole red pill manosphere. Thank God I'm not involved with that. Thank God I don't have to be involved with that bull crap because it's like a lot of nonsense. So there was just some back and forth here and there. They just keep sinking themselves to the sunken, probably from those who from the Get Out movie. Because, my God, the level of stupidity that comes out of their mouths is just unbearable. Recently, I'm not going to cover the whole thing. I'm just going to say a little snippet. If anybody's interested, they can watch it. I'm not going to cover it. Fresh and Fit, they come after our boys, Abba and Preach, who are known as Black content creators who for in Canada, who actually has a fresh perspective on things. They're a third party who see things how they are and be like, this is what we believe, how it's supposed to be. They're not saying that follow us, this is how it is. Like, no, they bring out fresh, logical, common sense to the table. And I like those takes, And for the time to time, they do some funny videos, which I laugh and my fiance laughs about it. It's like, they're good. And sometimes they take some very controversial takes, but I appreciate, and respect them out of them. Just recently, Fresh and Fit, they basically attacked them, and it was just like, what are they doing? They're just a bunch of buffoons. And then I thought Sneeko was back again to getting the souls back, but then again, Sneeko just reverts back to his own selfish thing, being an idiot. Which again, I keep telling people, why are we keep giving him a platform? And they taking things out of context, way out of context, and then they making fun of Aber and Preach, and they be calling them a bunch of names. I can't even say it here. You guys have to watch it because there was some level of racism that came from their mouths, which is wild because these two, Myra and Fresh, are all both Black content creators. Even though they're in it for the wrong reasons, they blatantly disrespect them, they insulted them, and they went above and beyond to be racist about it. Listen, guys, Black people can be racist too, all right? It's not just only the white people. This is my hot take. I get it. This is a hot take. Are there Black people that are racist? Yes, just like there's a lot of Asian people who are racist, where a lot of Indians who are racist, and a lot of Hispanics who are racist. Of course, it's not just predominated by the whites. Racism is all around all sorts of fields, whether you want to accept it or not, that's totally up to you, but you can check. And I'm just trying to keep it real with you guys, So when I saw that, I saw the buffoonery that came out of them. I said, I'm not going to cover it. I'm just going to talk about it a little bit and move on, because I do not want to give more content to them. I don't want to expose them even more. Not in a good or bad way because it's my responsibility to talk to you about this sort of behavior and do not do what they're doing. No, it's more about, their response to Aber and Preach. This is the level, you stupid. You're just that low. You're just that of a moron. All right, we're not going to cover it that much. So that's their attitude. And I'm like, you know what? That's good. I know a lot of content creators are going to cover it. It's going to be a field day for everybody. They're going to make Fresh and Fit again. No, they're going to talk about it. It's going to be trending. I don't want to give that power to them because that's how you stop. That's how you stop. Sure, if they attack me personally, I will go all war at them. But I'm not even in their league, and they're not even in my league. We're two different industries within the same industry, ironically, right? Um, yeah. So I just want to talk about it. I already talked too much. You guys want to see their stupidity? Go to Abbott and Preach's YouTube channel. Look at the video that they posted, and they're gonna give you the snippets of what they say, and it's just blatant racism. I'm saying racism because I can't say the actual word, even though I'm pretty sure I've already said it a few times because YouTube will demonetize me. With what money? I don't know because I'm not making dimes. Anyways, now that we got that out of the way, that's the ugly part. There's another ugly part later on, but it's going to correlate to movie and TV shows. But let's talk about this. Let's talk about a very interesting take, which is Ableton Live, and why I believe Ableton Live is is basically the best DAW, digital audio workstation, in the entire industry, and if anything, the entire world. Let me rephrase that. Why I believe, my opinion, why I believe, in my opinion, Ableton is the best DAW in the entire industry. This is based on my opinion, guys. So before you take out of context, say Wolfson said that Ableton is better than in any other DAW. No, I didn't say it's better than any DAW. I said it's the best, in my opinion. My opinion. Others can argue that Fruity Loops is better. Others can argue that Logic is better. Others can Pro Tools is better. That's like, it's fine. That's their prerogative. That's their opinion. I am not saying it because I've been in Ableton since Live 8. Damn, since 2013, I've been on Ableton. Wow, that's a lot. I'm not saying it out of biasy. I'm very objective and subjective on certain topics, and I can be unbiased on it. I can take out my hat and be like, all right, I can listen and I can tell you why. I'm not gonna be like, yeah, Ableton Live is the best because of this, that. Sure, but it's gonna be on a very unbiased perspective. All right, guys. And I'm telling you guys this because I've already done every DAW. Like I even done Sony's Asset Pro, which is like, yeah, I even done Reason. Reason was actually pretty hard to deal. I know some folks use it, and shout out to those guys who know how to use Reason because I could never figure that shit out. Of course, Fruity Loops, Logic, Pro Tools, and Ableton. Yeah, those are like the main ones that you'll be using when you're an up and coming producer or an up and coming engineer. You tend to go to whichever is suited for your industry. The industry standard usually is Pro Tools. That's industry standard. Everybody needs to know Pro Tools. I know about it. I know the basics of it. I know how to use it. I know how to record stuff. I know how to hook that up to boards and whatnot. Will I use that for mix and mastering? No. Because beauty about it is that Ableton does everything. I'm going to explain that a little bit later, Yeah, so for engineers, producers that they want to record stuff, the industry standards Pro Tools. That's never going to change. That's what it is. And it's because of the audio engine that provides it and all the versatilities that can do. I mean, you can video edit stuff in Pro Tools, you can do that. It's not just audio; it's also video. So it's a very cool thing, It's just it has a lot of shortcuts, and you have to be not very good at typing it. Because of my line of work, I don't even go near Pro Tools because it's not there for me. If I decide to go, which I'm really am considering, to go more in the realms of Foley art or surround 5.1 and voiceover and stuff like that, then probably I should retrain myself for Pro Tools again, but all that stuff I can do it and able to. Again, we're going to talk about that a little bit later. This is going to be very unbiased, guys, and I'm going to give you some pointers as to why I believe it is one of the best, and why I believe up and comers should consider learning how to use Ableton, and why its effectiveness is very good at it. So we're gonna talk about that. That's gonna be a big topic today, and then we'll talk about the rest. Like I said before, I've already dwelled into other DAWs. If you guys don't know what DAW is, I'm gonna explain it again, even though you should already know. Um, DAW stands for Digital Audio Workstation, which is the programs that enables us producers and engineers to do the magic that you always listen to on the radio. You know, all the music, all the edits, all the mixing, mastering, the creation, everything is done through a digital audio workstation, a DAW or a DAW. That's what we call the programs, you know. A lot of people just say a video program or audio program, you know, oh, it's a Premiere, it's an Audition, it's a Photoshop, you know, they call it programs. We call it DAWs because it's much more unique and niche to it. And I've dwelled into some of the ones that are well known out there, and I always found it very hard to understand how it works. That's until I started playing with Ableton, and Ableton was very quick for me to learn, surprisingly. And it's because Ableton's unique ability to pick up very quickly and learn right away. It's what stands with other DAWs in the industry and makes me believe that, man, people still underestimate this DAW, and I feel like people don't use it to its full potential, and I feel like it's still, people will look at it as a very underrated, overlooked that, and don't give the credit that they deserve because they can go above and beyond. What I've learned from school and from many others is, you know, when you're recording stuff, you always tend to record on Pro Tools, record all the stuff, mix and master for it, and do your thing from there. If you're working on other DAWs, they recommend like do your thing, stem out the song, and then use those stems to put it on Pro Tools and mix and master. That's what I've learned in school and from other people that told me that's how you do it. One brave person known as Needy, shout out to my brother Needy, he believed that if you can do all that stuff in Ableton, then who cares? Like, why do we have to do that extra step? If you can do it in Ableton, why you got to do all that extra step? And I took that very dearly, the consideration of it. And since then, I've been mixing, mastering my music on Ableton. Not only that am I making this music, I'm also mix and mastering them. And I'll take it a step further. Ableton also has a function for us to slap a video and edit and mix and master the audio quality of it. Not the video quality, the audio quality. I can still edit, like cut certain things and paste it together and whatnot. Ableton has that function. Maybe it's not the best. I could say like it could be better. Like I feel like Pro Tools is a lot better than doing that. But given the fact that I've trained myself to do Ableton my whole the 10 years that I had it. And not only that, I can also do video edits, like video editing my podcast and do clips out of it with me knowing all the shortcuts already at hand. People are like underestimate like how amazing it is and how overlooked and how much user friendly it is. Because that's a thing. I feel like people are afraid of Ableton because they feel like, oh, this is like what the pros use. Like, I don't know if I can make it. And when they open the door, it's like, holy crap, what do I do? They don't know the first thing. And I get it. But once you start the ball rolling, the peak curiosity comes in naturally. And then you start to do stuff. And then you start to do stuff. And then you start to do stuff. And you're like, oh my God, what did I just do right now? Holy crap, look at this. I did this in the span of 30 minutes. My God. You know how much time I saved to do this, and that? Yeah, guys. Ableton is that good. And mind you, I'm not being sponsored by Ableton. I'm still not a certified trainer yet. But yeah, guys, like Ableton is that good. It's that good of a user-friendly DAW. Like, and you can, and it's one thing that I will tell people, that DAW is limitless. When I say limitless, it goes beyond audio, and the level of creativity that you can go over it as far exceeds any other DAW. 100%. The level of audio manipulation that you can do on Ableton, and do other crazy shit on top of it, nobody can be on par with it. Especially, let me tell you this, especially this part, what I'm about to say. When you're doing the mix and mastering, sometimes you require third-party plugins like Ozone, which is the most infamous one for you to mix and master, you know? And sometimes you use Fat Filter as well. You sometimes use the Kilohertz plugins, you know, and sometimes you use even Seron's, effects, right? So you also use them. There's a lot of good plugins out there that you can use, even the waves plugins like the disperser or the multi-band compressor. Fat Filter is mostly for EQs and getting it more specifically. But people don't realize this. But Ableton's plugins that allows you to mix and master, not saying that they're the best, but they go on par with these third-party plugins. And they can do exactly what those other third-party plugins can do and a little bit more. Why else have you heard the running joke of OTT? Yeah, because in Ableton, the OTT compressor that it has, it's basically one knob away to do whatever you want to do. You hardly have to do anything. You just go up and down with the knobs. You don't have to get Zeron's and OTT. You don't have to get Kilohertz OTT. You don't need to get any other third-party plugin. No, Ableton's OTT can handle it. The EQ is the same thing. You can do so much with the EQs. The limiter, the multi-band compressor, the reverb itself is good. You don't really need to get Valhalla. You can still use Ableton's reverb. And I can go on and on with the others as well. That's just the effects rack. I haven't even mentioned the analog flat, the sampler, stuff like that allows you to manipulate your audio and do other crazy shit. So imagine that not only you got Ableton, you don't really have to pay hundreds of dollars on third-party plugins to mix and master your stuff. No, you can use Ableton stuff, and it's still good. It's on par with those third-party plugins. You can argue Fat Filter is definitely, it will still be better. You can argue that Ozone is definitely better. Yeah, I'm not gonna deny that. From time to time, sometimes I use Ozone. I use Fat Filter all the time for sure. Ozone, not that much, because again, if I can master it with just using Fat Filter and the stock plugins from Ableton, what do I need Ozone for? I can do the same thing on the stock plugins. Sure, it'll be a lot more, and I had to go a little bit more, and Ozone will be much more faster and simpler with just that one thing. But if I can still do the job in there, what do I need the other third-party plugins? Why? Why waste money? So you're essentially saving money. Essentially, you're paying a DAW the price for what it is with all the cool things that it has. Stock plugins who are great. Working plugins like, the simpler, the waveform, the analog. Oh my God, there's so many. The drum buses as well. Hey, bro, you can even sidechain. I forgot to tell you guys. The most 100% thing that every producer needs when they're making a song is sidechaining. You need to sidechain everything. You want that kick to hit and at the same time doesn't clash with the other melodies or songs or the vocals. Sidechain. Ableton has the ability to sidechain amazingly by just going through the compressor. While you have to buy Kickstart to do a sidechain, Ableton can do that very, very quickly. And it's much more direct and straight to the point. It's so easy to sidechain with using Ableton's compressor. When it comes to sound design, it's another thing. Like the ability to resample in Ableton is next level. Like it's not the same when you resample through Fruity Loops or through Pro Tools or through Logic. No, resampling Ableton is much more effective and it costs you less on the GPU and the CPU. And the beauty of this resample is that once you resample a song or a sound or a sample itself, the sound that it has, you can warp it however you want it. Granted, a lot of people say, yeah, but Logic can do that. Fruity Loops can do that. Pro Tools would do that. What makes Ableton's like so unique? Because you can even time slow or fast pace the audio and it can be played on real time. Stretching it or squeezing it as much as you can, and you can slap multiple effects on top of it. And for some reason, it comes one unique sound. You can even literally take a portion of the resample, little small portion, and resample it again and just add more stuff to it and comes out something crazy. It's so easy to do it. That's why I keep telling you from the beginning. Ableton is user friendly. It's easy to pick up. You can even, and we're talking about this in the arrange view. In the clip view, bro, you just grab any beat machine making that has pads, connect it, slap a couple of sounds, and then you can just like tap in right there. No other DAW has that other than Ableton. Ableton can both go from arrange view, where we normally make our music by just slapping on a bunch of stuff and rearranging its structure to make it more of a sound, and then having Serum or sound design for whatever plugins they use, Massive or and then have our shit there. Clip view, you can still do some of that. It's gonna be a little bit different. Clip view is more for live performances or even to record certain things and have it, beat matching. Like a lot of hip hop producers and trap producers, they do a lot of the beat making. That's what they call themselves, beat makers. Yeah, they like to beat match, and when they slap on Ableton, they just go with their big ass pads, and they got their audios already set up. So all they got to do is just tap in and go boom, boom, ba, boom, 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 ba, boom, 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 ba. And even on live, a lot of live bands that have Ableton, they basically have their and then they just go along with the band and they just go bam, and then the thing starts, and then just go in more and more. I know Linkin Park used to do that a lot. Porter Robinson do that. Even my man Modstead, Josh, yeah, they do that. Yeah, like tell me what other DAW that allows you to do that you can just like do that on live, and also in a studio to be beat making. What other DAW does that? That you can do both the live and beat making on the clip view, and then or go in arrange view, and then you can just drag and structure your song. What other DAW does that? Nobody can answer me that. Nobody can answer me that they can do that flippity flute. How many times I've seen on a live show, in a live band, and you saw you see the pianist, the keyboard pianist, have a computer on the side. You want to know what program he has? Ableton. Because in the clip view, they can actually go ahead and play with whatever songs they got on the piano. That's why you got multiple pianos, or have it on the launch pad or a beat pad that they got. And if they want to use the piano stuff, they can still do the piano or switch it back to Ableton and to say, I have a specific piano preset sound on Massive or Serum or Faceblind or whatever, and then I can play it through Ableton. You know how I do that? Well, I just grab my laptop, I just grab my audio interface and hook it up to their system. I got my keyboard that's hooked up to Ableton. And it's like, oh, I found the song. I found the preset. All right, play it around on live. There you go. We got this. And just go nuts with it. Oh, next song is a different sound. All right, let me switch the preset. Bam. All right. Yep, I got it. Let's go. What other DAW does that you can play on live? Nobody. Which is why I bring this technical perspective as to why I believe Ableton is one of the best out there. And I feel like if I had to scale it, I'll put it as the top dog, like the number one Facts, guys. And I just talked about more of the music and audio components of it and the live components that you can just do, which is bananas. But let's talk about again the video component of it. Remember when I say that you can edit videos on it, and it's not as perfect as Pro Tools video options of how scrolling down. It's not as perfect. No, I'll give them that. Ableton can do a little bit better, and they can improve themselves a little bit better if they're gonna tackle that whole video aspect, which they should, and go in competition with Pro Tools on that aspect. They need to get better on their video engine for sure. Even though Ableton was not designed for that, it was designed for audio purposes and music creation. But I feel like the video, if they implemented that under DAW and gives me the ability to cut, edit, paste videos by using their audio and having a small screen for me to see what I cut and paste. If Ableton has that ability to do it, I feel like they can expand and build a better video engine that they can go on competition with Pro Tools and have people in the industry to take a look at Ableton and be like, oh shit, Ableton it looks very easy and cool than Pro Tools. It's gonna inspire a lot of people to do that type of stuff, But that's stuff that you have to bring them to the table so they can be like consider it. The more you comment, the more you let them know on the forums, the more you talk to them on their seminars and whatnot. That's the only way to go. But I feel maybe they're in it and I'm not aware of it. Somebody could correct me. Let me know in the comments down below. But even in its basic form, it's still good because it can still shoot 4K. I can bounce whatever video I have. I can bounce it to whatever resolution I want at whatever frames and at whatever BPS that I want. That's how good Ableton is on its basic form to video, to bounce video, which I feel like that's so easy, which it was a concern of mine when I started the podcast. If I'm going to do videos, it's like, shit, I need to learn how to use Premiere because that's like the best of the best in the industry. There's nothing in competition to it. I need to learn how to use Premiere. Fuck, how do I do this? Like, oh my God, there's so many shortcuts. It's like, damn it, learning this all over again. This sucks. But then when I start editing Ableton on the audio platform, and it shows me the screen of the video, and I start, copy pasting, I was like, huh. And I started to do it much more faster. And then before you know it, my podcast bounces from Ableton on at whatever resolution that I want, and its audio is mixed mastered perfectly. And all I gotta do is just slap it on Premiere to add the intro and outro and clear the color coding. Call it a day. Bounce it. That's it. That's so easy. Which is something that I encourage people to do. That if you're very good at certain if you're very good at video editing on Premiere and that, stick to it. Well, if you're very good at certain things, you stick to the DAW. That's good because, like, again, I'm not. I will not say that I'm the most pro Ableton, but I know all the shortcuts and I still know how to use them and use them very effectively. If I'm very good at, why should I change my habits of editing and stuff to another DAW when I can do everything in that DAW? I can create music, I can mix, I can master, I can video edit. I know all the shortcuts of it. If the system works, why mess? So that's just my take on Ableton and why I encourage people to, like, when they start it up, to see what program should I start. Like, man, I need to learn how to do this, how to do that. Where should I start? Like, I always encourage people to start with Ableton Intro. $100. I don't know if they increase it, but the last time I checked, it was $100. Start with it. If you love it that much, then level up the standard. And if you want to go to the next level, like I am, go with the sweet version. Which the sweet version is like the one. Like, if you give me Ableton standards, like I'm like, no, I only deal with sweet. That's how bougie I am. I only work with sweet because in sweet I can do so much more than standard and intro. But if you want to learn the basics on Ableton, bro, and go start with Ableton Intro, $100. See See how it feels. If you love it, boom, you got a program, bro. And you're gonna learn a lot from it. And if you guys need like tutorials, or if you guys need, private tutoring sessions on how to use Ableton and whatnot, guys, comment down below or shoot a DM to me and we can schedule something, guys. And absolutely, I'm more than happy to do so. All right. So, my opinion about Ableton's the shit. It's one of the best, in the industry. It's very overlooked, and if they really encourage and put Ableton to implement more on the video engine, like they did with Pro Tools, I feel like Ableton will be destroying the entire industry. These are my thoughts. This is why I believe Ableton is the best. Let me know in the comments down below what you guys think about it. Let me know if I missed something out. And, tell me what is your preferred DAW and why you think it's better than Ableton. Let's have a conversation, Moving on. Next topic. Let's see what we got today. What in the actual next topic. This, remember guys what I told you about wild takes and ugly topics? Yeah, this one's kind of ugly. It involves with the infamous Dr. Umar Johnson, or should I call him Fraud Johnson? And he's not he's definitely. For those of you who don't know who Dr. Umar Johnson is, he is known as a very activist black doctor. According to him, he's a doctor, but he's not. His beliefs is that he's against interracial relationships, which is wild because I'm in a interracial relationship. For those of you who don't know, I'm Hispanic. I'm come from Puerto Rico. My culture is way different than here in the States, and I'm marrying to a white girl, and her culture is different from mine. Like you can tell the difference into our cultures, but nevertheless, it's still an interracial relationship, whether you want to believe it or not, but technically it is. And our cultures are way different, way different. And if anything, it shows then how far apart we are. But we love each other, and that's what matters. And this moron, this black racist, because he's a racist, 100%, comes out and tells everybody like how white girls are damaging black folks. So the snow bunnies. Nani? He takes some of the most wildest things. Like you look at it and he's very consistent about it. You look at it and it's like, dude, this guy's a comedian, bro. Like, there's no way he believes. It's like, hey, we all thought the same thing with Trump, He's a comedian. Like, we never thought that he will say some of the wildest things. Same thing with Alex Jones. We thought that this guy, the wildest things that he says is pretty wild. That it sounds more of a comedian stake, but no, they're real. And Dr. Umar Johnson is no different from them. No different. Say what you want to say. He's no different. But I'm going to play this clip from the Brilliant Idiots where he talks about it and how he criticized the Little Mermaid and Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse and how that's very racist about it. Nani? Bruh. He takes one interesting take about it. And
Umar's latest take on the Little Mermaid and Spider-Verse.
Oh, look at that hat, too. Always repping the home team.
Philly, baby.
Can somebody help me understand this new Spider cartoon? I don't follow the cartoon. Spider-Man Across the Universe.
Bruh.
Spider-Man Across the Universe, and he's bunny hopping in the damn trailer I saw on YouTube. How the hell are you going to have a black superhero cartoon for our children? Nani? And he's lusting and thirsting over the skim milk in the damn trailer. This is insane. How you going to have a cartoon bunny hopping over the white girl in the cartoon? Serious? Lord have mercy. And then what is it? Little Mermaid? They said Little Mermaid is swimming in the milk. She is bunny hopping too. Bruh. Little Mermaid got a snow puppy. Insane, brothers and sisters.
I can confirm.
We can't even have a cartoon with black on black love. We can't even have a cartoon with black on black. It's getting out of control.
Bruh. All right. So let me stop you there. There's a little bit more, and there's an interesting take that they take out of it. Yeah, guys, that alone was a wild take, as it is. Clearly, he's ignorant, blissfully ignorant. That's the correct word for him. Because he's assumed that, because we got a Spider-Man, he's black, and Little Mermaid because he's black. Why is there only one black, and they're going along with white people? Why is that, this and that? It's like, Dr. Umar, they're cartoons. They're characters. Who gives a shit?
Emotional, damn it.
And in the defense of into Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales is actually a character in the Spider-Man universe. And in the actual comic, he's half black and half Puerto Rican. He's 100% black. But the story doesn't have to be revolved around that black person. No, it's just it's the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse involves his story, and how he's becoming the next Spider-Man for New York, and how he's trying to help every other Spider-Man across the universes, because there's multiple Spider-Man. It's a multiverse. It has nothing to do with racial component or anything. In fact, the antagonist, like the so-called antagonist, I believe that Spider-Man is Hispanic. Correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't seen the movie. I'm gonna watch the movie this weekend. I'm excited for it. I'm like, holy crap! I can't believe it. The first movie was amazing. This second movie is gonna be dope for sure. For sure. What?
Gotcha, bitch.
Because of Spider-Gwen, she's an actual character in the Spider-Verse. Gwen Stacy, and so happened that she's white. They don't really, because it's not in. I mean, I don't know. What am I talking about? It's a cartoon. It's a kid's movie, for fuck's sake. It's been known cartoons and comics. This is and video games. This is not something like racial about it. Why are we making it? Why are you talking out of your goddamn ass and saying this stupidity? And then on the Little Mermaid, all the Little Mermaid siblings, they're all different. By the way, Little Mermaid is doing great on box office. It's doing great. I haven't watched it. I'll take my niece to it. But yeah. And so far, she's the character of Ariel. She did a fantastic job. According to all the sources that I'm looking at, she did a fantastic job. They didn't cast her because it has to be black or it has to be white. Maybe there is a little bit about it. But the whole story about the Little Mermaid does not revolve on black excellence. No. It arounds a mermaid who wants to be better, who wants to be falling into love with a prince, with a human and mermaid, which it can be happening. But, that's what happens. That's the whole story of it. That's the gist of it. Has nothing to do with being black or being white or anything. Mind you, guys, if Alex Jones, and I'm not trying to defend these guys because I feel like these guys are horrible people as well. If Alex Jones and the Nick Fuentes and the Donald Trumps and the DeSantis of this world say stuff like that, you will call them bigots. You'll call them racists, and you try to cancel them, right? If they say those words that Dr. Umar said, if they said it in their words, everybody will call them your supremacists, your bigots, your racists, and all that stuff, right? If they say those words. But when it comes to Dr. Umar, he says that, no, I can't understand what he's meant. What?
Gotcha, bitch.
Ignorance is bliss, apparently. Hit the button.
Congratulations, you played yourself.
He's a racist, whether you want to believe it or not. Like, bro, anybody who watched the Boondocks, Uncle Ruckus, there are many racial racists out there. They are. It's not predominantly only for white people. No, there are in other races, for other countries. Asian parents can be racist. They don't want their Asian kid to marry a white folk or a black folk or a Hispanic folk. No, they want to marry their own kind. Even sometimes within their own kind, they say, I'm Chinese and you're Japanese. We can't be together because our parents will not agree. Or Korean, or even Vietnamese, or Filipino. Yeah, it does happen, including the Indians. Oh my God, Indians And Muslims are very conservative about those values, those family values. No, you have to marry within the eyes of a Muslim or Buddhism, whatever. Yeah, guys, they don't want to marry another that's not within their own kin. It's not just white. That's why it's like an interesting take that a lot of people like assume that white is the only one. Like, no, black people can be racist too. Hispanics can be racist too. Oh my God. Don't even get me started with that. Anyways, let's listen a little bit further.
Watch me get this download.
Spider-Man, bunny hopping. She probably gonna accuse him of smacking her too. Watch, he gonna get locked up. I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen. Spider-Man across the universe, she gonna accuse him of rape, and he gonna go to jail, and they're gonna replace him with a white Spider-Man. Watch, that's what's going to happen. He gonna get accused of sexual harassment by the Snow Bunny in the cartoon. He's gonna go to jail and lose his spidey senses, and they're gonna replace him with a snow puppy. The new Spider-Man will be a snow puppy. That's what they're gonna do. Bruh. That's what they're going to do. Little Mermaid going to have his mixed race child, and he going to go to court and take the damn mixed race mermaid child from Little Mermaid. That's what she get for swimming in the skin. That's what she get for swimming in the skin.
You can't help to laugh at that shit out of the stupidity. Holy shit. First off, same company, two different universes. The Little Mermaid is one universe. Spider-Man is a different universe. They will never meet. It's never clashed. Unless you're playing Kingdom Hearts, there's no way those two will ever mingle. Like, woo! Yeah, okay. But he's not racist. All right, bet.
That's what she get for swimming in the skin. Criteria for secretary, natural hair.
There's nobody more consistent. Dr. Umar does not believe in interracial relationships, even in the goddamn multiverse. Okay? Dr. Umar doesn't feel like there is a world. It don't matter if it's Earth 616, 818. There should be no interracial relationship whatsoever. Now, have you seen The Little Mermaid?
No.
Yeah, I saw it this weekend.
I saw the original one.
I never saw the original one.
Really?
Okay, so break this one down. This is the Black Little Mermaid.
It's not even a Black Little Mermaid. It's literally the Little Mermaid story. She just happens to be black. Like, there's no race references at all.
It's crazy.
Right. No, it's not. Because you say the black, it's the Little Mermaid and she's a black actress. But when you say, nowadays, if you say it's the black such and such, then that means it's like, there's some blackness behind it.
They don't make her super black.
No, it's nothing about her
is black.
I mean, nothing about the story is rooted in blackness. I actually think they kind of dropped the ball a little bit because I'm like, well, man, how come they don't make this Little Mermaid be set in the Caribbean? Sebastian is from Jamaica randomly as fuck. You know what I'm saying? He got this Caribbean accent random as fuck. Like, it should have been, to me, based off like being off the coast of like some Caribbean island.
Where is it?
It feels like Europe or France or somewhere. Yeah.
Under the sea.
And it's like, you know, I have a theory outside of Little Mermaid. I don't think any live piece based off.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can never make a hyena.
What about all the comics turned into live action movies?
That's different though. Word.
Yeah. So wild thought. Wild take from Dr. Umar. Very delusional. It comes from delusion and ignorance. Don't try to politicize something, some of your beliefs into cartoons and make believe stuff. Don't try to do that because it's gonna make you look like an idiot. It's gonna make you look like a fool. Honestly, and trying to politicize so hard, it just makes you look like an idiot. Like, one does not have to do with the other. My thoughts in this, I'm going to move on and talk about other stuff. My thoughts of this, Dr. Umar is an ignorant racist. He's trying to politicize something that has no meaning to be politicized. And he has no meaning to, he's just trying to get attention. That's what it is. That's what it is. He was trying to get some attention. Nobody's been talking about him. He hasn't been trending a while. And then he has to take this wild take. And now everybody's talking about it. Opportunists. Call it like it is. But if you guys got something to say, let me know in the comments down below and let me hear your thoughts about this. Because to me, this is just stupid, bro. This is blatantly stupidity at its peak level. Like, golly. I don't know what else to say. Let's just move on before we wrap this up. Definitely want to talk about Successions. The series finale was this week. You know, I watched it. Wow, there was a lot of plot twists and a lot of hoo-has, and it's within plot twists. I honestly did not know where this was going. And it just shows you like the level of greatness to the series is, because it just shows you who really wants it, you know? The whole time I believe Kendall really wanted it from the very beginning. He wanted it. The other siblings didn't care for it. They didn't want it, but they wanted it just to spite him. Just to spite him. That's the only reason why they wanted it. And when Kendall pulled it out, it's like, guys, do you really want this? And Shiv, she's just a double twisting snake. I'm sorry. Look, every single sibling has its own stupidity level, but I feel like Kendall was the only one that can actually had it. He could have had it. By the way, spoilers alert. But I feel Shiv is just a two-timing snake to her husband and to herself, to her siblings. Like, she's the one character that you can never trust her from the very beginning. You can never trust her. And Roman, yeah, like, he's a masochist. He started the way he ended. He's like, he doesn't give a shit. He's just doing it just to play ball. And Connor is just a wacko. There was just a brief moment in which I feel like, the siblings are gonna stick together. And I feel like Kendall got a little bit too cocky and trying to fill his father's shoes. Is like, it was just too cocky and he becoming a little bit arrogant as to like he got this, but in reality, that's what messed it up. The cockiness, the arrogancy, and that ultimately landed his downfall. You know. And a plot twist, which is like, I couldn't believe this guy got the position. The true successor was Tom, Shiv's ex-husband, or still husband, because they haven't finally divorced. But Tom, the one person that I always said for the entire series, he's a snake. He's a two-timing snake. He's a nobody that was using his wife to leverage himself to be in the top dogs, because he doesn't come from known family. Nobody gives a shit about him. Nobody gives a shit about his family. Like, he's just known to be a person to be there. You can tell, like, he's a gold digger basically, and he succeeded, all because Shiv two-timed Kendall, because she didn't want him to be there, because she couldn't get the power, so nobody's gonna get the power. And she couldn't give a legitimate answer as to why. It's just, I don't like you. That's the only reason. And I feel like that is so stupid of her, that you just messed everything up. That's there to talk about from Succession. It ended great, you know. Let's talk about Zelda, guys. The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. I started to play it, and holy crap, every day I'm playing this game, guys. It's that freaking good, guys. I kid you not. Like, I will highly recommend people playing this game. And let me tell you, like what I said in the last podcast, I haven't played a Zelda game since probably Twilight Princess, and the remakes, well, not remakes, but the remakes of Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask on the 3DS, you know? But this game, Tears of Kingdom, oh my God, it's amazing. It's surely amazing. And I highly, highly recommend people to watch, to play this game, man. I'm hooked up every day out of it. And my God, I thought that I'm only going to be playing Pokemon games on the Nintendo Switch until I start playing Tears of the Kingdom. And I'm like, oh my God, yeah, I'm going to be playing this game a lot more, you know, and I cannot wait to explore everything. And yeah, guys, like to me, it's an A plus, you know, that at 10 out of 10, honestly. Some call it a 9 out of 10. Sure. Maybe it's because I haven't played enough, but so far I'm playing it. I'm enjoying it. That's the thing. A lot of these Zelda games are RPGs that, you know, it's rare if you catch me. Like if you got my attention and I start playing it and I'm hooked at it, I'll play it. But if not, I'll stop playing it midway and never finish it. This game hooked me up and now I'm like, I can't let it go. It's amazing. So I highly recommend you guys playing the game. It's definitely good. Last thing before we wrap it up and close this. The PlayStation Showcase was aired last week. I couldn't talk about it because I talked about it way too early or something. I don't know. It didn't match up. But the PlayStation Showcase revealed some amazing trailers and some announcements that I didn't expect. I'm going to show you guys what I'm talking about. Let me see if I can put it on a big screen so you guys can watch it. So PlayStation finally pulled back the curtain on the PS5 lineup for this year and beyond in today's PlayStation Showcase 2013, which is last week. And it showed a couple of games. So the first one is the Spider-Man 2 gets a lengthy gameplay showcase. So Spider-Man 2 trailer came about, and you know, it shows Kraven the Hunter, and then shows freaking Spider-Man becoming Venom Spider-Man. So there's gonna be some components. Miles Morales is gonna be there. The gameplay to Venom is dope. I mean, Miles Morales is there, and yeah, guys, like it looked so dope. The trailer, you know, and I'm not into this. I didn't get into the game, but it looks dope, and I'm happy for it. This was a shocking for me. Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater remake, and they call it Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. It's the remake of the third game, which is wild to me. I thought they were gonna remake the first game, you know, to start off the series like that, but no. And Hideo Kojima is not part of it, and which is like, understandably, Konami and Kojima don't get along that well after how Konami fucked Kojima, which is so shitty of them. And along the trailer, like, it looks visually amazing. Along the trailer, they also announced the Master Collection Volume 1, which includes the first, second, and third game of the Metal Gear Solid franchise. And they say Volume 1, that means like, oh my God. Volume 2 has to be Guns of the Patriots, Revengeance, and probably Peace Walker and Portable Ops. Like, I don't know what other volumes that we're gonna have. But I'm excited to play that, and I'm a sucker to buy Metal Gear. Even if I already played it, I'll play it again in my new PlayStation. So it's like, yeah. And the remake of it, this will indicate that if they did a remake 3, there's gonna be a 1, 2, 3, and possibly 4. Because it's been a long time since they did something like that. So I'm pretty sure that's gonna happen. I don't think that 5. Oh yeah, I forgot. Collection will be part of Collection 5, I believe. I don't know. I don't care much about 5, honestly. The PlayStation announced the dedicated gaming streaming Project Q so far. So it looked like a Nintendo Switch. That's the running joke. It looked like a Nintendo Switch, but on PlayStation. My thoughts to it, I think I'm gonna get it because it's a streaming device that I can actually play my own games through the device. So I don't really have to be playing the PlayStation on my TV. I can actually legit be playing it through my device, and then my wife can actually be doing other stuff and whatnot, watching Netflix or Hulu or whatnot, and I could be playing my video game. We could be there. So I'm about it. I'm all about it. No release date or the hardware or nothing. It's just announced that look at this new thing that we're having. Not even the pricing. I hope the price is not that outrageous, but it's PlayStation. We'll see. Assassin's Creed Mirage, it gets a release date on October 12th. I might consider getting this game because it looked like it's going back to its roots from the original Assassin's Creed games like 1 and 2 and Brotherhood. We'll see. We'll see more gameplay. I hope it doesn't fall the trend of like Valhalla and Odyssey and Origins, you know, where we had to battle wars and shit like that. Like, no, this is more dealt with the stealthiness and the action. I hope we'll see how it goes, honestly. But I definitely am waiting for the other one, which is the Japanese version. That's gonna be a Shinobi base. Like, ooh, Alan Wake 2. It looks dope. I haven't played the first one, but it piqued my interest. The Final Fantasy 16, which is gonna be released this month, I believe. Yeah, this month of June, it's getting released. I'm okay about it. I hope it hooks me up like it did with Tears of Kingdom. We'll see. Dragon's Dogma 2, whatever. Bungie announces new marathon game, so it's gonna be the new Fortnite. We'll see. Street Fighter 6, not into it, but it, good. I know a lot of fans are like yay about it. Jay Raymond's Haven Studio reveals fair game. I'm okay about that. The Talos Principles 2, Foam Star. That's honestly, basically it's a Splatoon-like shooter game from Square Enix. In the Phantom Blade Zero. This is a new hack and slash RPG game. I thought it was like Ghost of Tsushima too, but when they start to become a little bit more supernatural looking, like I'm like, whoa, what is this? And the gameplay of it, I'm like, this is a new hack and slash game that I've been wanting. I didn't know I needed it, but now I want it. Oh my god. Yeah, it's set in a phantom world, a place where Chinese kung fu, steampunk, and more convergence. Game will feature fast-paced swords combat, taking place in the bleak and punishing semi-open world. The game does not yet have a release date or a release window, but I'm all about it. You should check that trailer out. Oh my god, it's amazing. Ghost Runner 2, I was surprised by this one as well. And I'm all about it. That first game was still amazing, Arrowheads 2, Helldivers 2. I mean, I'm not the big fan of multiplayers. I'm all about campaign driven, Giant Squid reveals Sword of the Seas. Resident Evil 4 Remake VR mode. I mean, good for them, but I don't give a shit about the VR mode. It would be dope if you were reveal at least like a little teaser of the RE9 or the next remake. Maybe in the October we'll get something. Maybe we'll see. Five Nights at Freddy's Hell Wanted 2 was announced. I'm top of that same week of the DLC. See how it goes. Other indie games, I don't even know most of these. Yeah, it's just basically it was good. A lot of people were like against it. People were like, it sucked. Nothing important. All these games are gonna be in Xbox. Why not? I mean, like, yeah, guys, like some of the Xbox games are owned by Xbox. So obviously Xbox need to have that, relationship contract. It's like don't take us away from these games, like we're a partnership and all this. So it's like, yeah, I get it. Whatever. The Delta and the Phantom Blade were probably the two that got me off guard. Oh yeah, and the Project Q, which is like the Nintendo version of PlayStation to string your games, that caught me off guard. So it was, I don't know. I liked it. It was good. It was remained to be expected. That's why like they never needed E3. There was nothing to show in E3. Like they're gonna show this is like nah, because then Xbox will show something, Nintendo will show something, and other the game developers will show on their own. They don't need E3 for this. It could be the end of E3. Who knows? Let me know in the comments down below. We're going to wrap this up, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in. And remember, every week is a brand new episode or a brand new topic. So always remember to like and subscribe for your weekly episodes at the Wolfpack Podcast for SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and iHeartRadio. To close the YouTube channel where you can check all my latest episodes of the Wolfpack and the Lone Wolf Podcast at youtube.com/The Lone Wolf Podcast. Yes, we're all under the same umbrella. The youtube.com/The Lone Wolf Podcast or at Lone Wolf Pod. Comment down below and let me hear your thoughts. Share your experiences. If you guys got a specific topic, please, that you want me to cover, please let me know in the comments down below. and so I can, check and see what topics we could talk about. And I'm gonna do my best to cover it on the next episode. Okay, guys. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll see you guys at the next one. All right, peace.